I still remember the moment very clearly. I was sitting in my doctor's office during what I thought would be a normal routine checkup. The nurse had already taken my blood pressure, the doctor reviewed my test results, and everything seemed fairly normal. I expected the usual advice, maybe a reminder to take my vitamins, exercise a little more, or watch my diet. But instead, the doctor looked at my reports, paused for a moment, and said something I did not expect. He leaned back in his chair and said, "You're doing many things right, but if you truly want to live to 100, there are 7 things you must stop doing immediately." That sentence caught my attention. I thought he would start talking about medication or complicated treatments, but surprisingly, the things he mentioned were not medical at all. They were everyday habits, things many of us do without even thinking. Some of them seemed harmless. Some of them even felt completely normal. Yet the doctor explained that these small habits, repeated day after day, can quietly shorten a person's life over time. After that conversation, I began paying closer attention, and what I noticed surprised me even more. Many of these habits are extremely common among people who struggle with their health as they grow older. So today, I want to share the 7 things doctors warn older adults to avoid if they want a longer, healthier life. Number 1, ignoring daily movement. The first thing my doctor warned me about that day was something very simple: movement. He looked at me and asked a question that caught me off guard. "How much do you walk each day?" I paused for a moment and tried to think about it honestly. Most days I moved around the house a little, maybe walked to the kitchen, sat in the living room, and rested for long periods. I finally told him, "Not very much." When I said that, he didn't scold me, but I noticed something. He became very quiet for a moment, almost as if my answer confirmed something he had seen many times before. Then he explained something that stayed with me. As we grow older, long hours of sitting can slowly weaken the body. When muscles are not used regularly, they lose strength. Joints become stiff, balance becomes unstable, and simple activities start feeling harder than they should. The surprising part is that many older adults don't realize how important gentle daily movement really is. We often think exercise must be intense to matter, but the doctor told me that even small movements make a big difference. A short walk in the morning, stretching the arms and legs, standing up and moving around every hour instead of sitting all day. These small habits keep the body awake and active. That conversation opened my eyes. I began to understand that staying healthy at an older age is not about pushing the body too hard. It's about keeping it moving consistently. And the lesson I learned is simple but powerful. Even small daily movement, like walking a little more or stretching regularly, can help protect our strength, our balance, and most importantly, our independence as we grow older. Number 2, living with constant stress. The second thing my doctor warned me about surprised me even more than the first. It wasn't about food or exercise. It was about stress. He asked me a simple question: "Do you worry a lot?" I gave a small smile because the honest answer was yes. Like many people, I spent years worrying about different things: family problems, finances, health, and the future. Even after many of those problems had passed, the habit of worrying seemed to stay with me. That's when the doctor explained something that truly opened my eyes. He said long-term stress quietly affects the body in ways many people don't realize. It can strain the heart, disturb sleep, and weaken the immune system. When the body stays in a constant state of worry, it is always tense, always alert, and never fully resting. Over time, that pressure slowly wears the body down. I remember him saying something that stayed with me. Stress can age the body faster than people think. At first, I didn't fully believe that something as invisible as stress could have such a powerful effect. But when I thought about it later, I realized how true it was. On the days when I worried the most, I slept poorly, felt more tired, and had less energy to enjoy life. The doctor wasn't saying that problems would disappear. Life always has challenges, but he explained that learning how to manage stress is just as important as taking care of the body. Simple things can help. Talking with friends, spending time on hobbies, walking in nature, or even taking a few quiet moments to relax the mind. And the lesson I learned that day was clear. If we want to live longer and healthier lives, we must not only care for our bodies, we must also learn how to calm our minds. Number 3, neglecting social connections. The third warning my doctor gave me had nothing to do with medicine, diet, or exercise. It was about something many people overlook as they grow older: social connection. During our conversation, he asked me another simple question. How often do you talk with your friends or family? At first, I thought it was just casual conversation. But when I stopped to think about it, I realized something. As the years passed, many of my old routines had changed. Some friends moved away, some became busy with their own families, and some were no longer around. Without noticing it, my circle had quietly become smaller. The doctor nodded when I told him this, as if he had heard the same story many times before. Then he explained something very important. Loneliness does more than make a person feel sad. It can affect both mental and physical health. When people become isolated, they often feel less motivated, less energetic, and less hopeful. Over time, that loneliness can even impact sleep, mood, and overall well-being. But when we stay connected with others, something different happens. Conversations keep the mind active. Laughter brings lightness to the heart. Even small social moments can lift our spirits and give us something to look forward to. The doctor told me that strong relationships are one of the most powerful factors in living a long life. In fact, many people who live into their 90s or even past 100 often remain socially connected with friends, family, or their community. That conversation made me reflect on my own life. I realized that reaching out to people, making time for conversations, and staying involved with others is not just about companionship. It is part of staying healthy. And the lesson I learned is simple but powerful. If we want to live longer and happier lives, we must never underestimate the importance of staying connected with the people around us. Number 4, eating without awareness. The fourth warning my doctor shared with me was about something we all do every single day: eating. But what surprised me was that he wasn't just talking about food itself. He was talking about how mindlessly we sometimes eat without truly paying attention to our choices. For many years, I never thought much about it. I ate what was convenient, what tasted good, or what I had always eaten out of habit. Like many people, I believed that as long as I wasn't overeating too much, everything would be fine. But the doctor gently explained something that made me stop and think. He said that many health problems don't appear suddenly. Instead, they slowly build up over time through small daily habits. One of the biggest of those habits is the food we choose to eat every day. Too much sugar, too much salt, too many processed foods. These things may not cause immediate problems, but over the years, they quietly affect the body. They can contribute to issues with the heart, blood pressure, weight, and energy levels. Then he pointed out something else that becomes especially important as we grow older. Our bodies change with age. The metabolism slows down, and the body becomes more sensitive to what we eat. That means portion control and balanced nutrition matter even more than before. Eating large meals or unhealthy foods regularly can put extra strain on the body. I remember the doctor saying something that stayed with me. Many of the health problems I see begin with small daily food choices people never thought were important. That sentence really opened my eyes. I began to realize that living longer isn't about strict diets or denying ourselves everything we enjoy. It's about being more thoughtful and aware of what we put into our bodies. And the lesson I learned from that conversation is simple. Eating slowly, choosing balanced meals, and paying attention to portions can support our health for many years. Small, mindful choices with food today can make a big difference in how strong and healthy we remain tomorrow. Number 5, avoiding regular health checkups. The 5th warning my doctor gave me was something many people don't like to hear, especially as they get older. He said, many people avoid seeing their doctor until something feels seriously wrong. When I heard that, I couldn't help but smile a little because I knew I had done the same thing many times in my life. If I felt a small ache or a little discomfort, I would often tell myself, it's probably nothing, it will pass. And most of the time, I simply ignored it. The truth is, many people delay doctor visits for different reasons. Some are afraid of hearing bad news. Others believe their symptoms are too small to worry about. And sometimes life just becomes busy, so we put off appointments again and again. But my doctor explained something that made me see this habit differently. He told me that many serious health problems don't begin with big warning signs. Instead, they start quietly, with small symptoms that seem harmless at first. The danger is that when those signs are ignored for too long, the problem grows until it becomes much harder to treat. I remember him saying something very clearly. Many of the dangerous conditions I see could have been managed much earlier if they had simply been discovered sooner. That sentence stayed with me. It made me realize that regular health checkups are not about looking for problems. They are about preventing them from becoming worse. A simple test, a routine exam, or a quick conversation with a doctor can sometimes catch a problem long before it becomes serious. And the lesson I learned from that visit is something I want everyone to remember. Taking time for regular checkups is one of the simplest and smartest ways to protect our health. It allows us to understand our bodies better, catch issues early, and give ourselves the best chance to live a longer and healthier life. Number 6, letting the mind become inactive. The sixth warning my doctor gave me was one I hadn't expected, yet it struck me deeply. He said, "It's not just the body that needs care as we age, the mind needs exercise too." He paused and then asked me a simple question. "What new things have you learned recently?" I had to think. Honestly, I couldn't come up with much. My days were filled with routines, reading the news, watching television, or doing chores. But I hadn't actively challenged my brain in a long time. At that moment, I realized how easy it is for the mind to become inactive without even noticing. My doctor explained why this mattered so much. Mental inactivity, he said, can quietly lead to cognitive decline. When the brain isn't regularly challenged, it can slow down, memory can fade, and thinking can become less sharp. It's like a muscle. The less you use it, the weaker it gets. He encouraged me to stay curious, to seek out learning opportunities, and to engage in activities that stimulate the mind. Reading new books, solving puzzles, learning a new skill, or even having thoughtful conversations. These things keep the brain active and resilient. I remember leaving that appointment with a new perspective. I began paying attention to the small ways I could challenge myself mentally each day. Even tiny steps like learning a new recipe, reading about a topic I didn't know, or writing down my thoughts made a difference. The lesson I learned from that conversation is clear. Longevity isn't just about physical health. It's about keeping the mind sharp as well. An active brain protects memory, improves problem solving, and helps maintain independence as we grow older. If we neglect mental activity, we risk slowing down more than we realize. But by making small, consistent efforts to stay mentally engaged, we give ourselves a far better chance to live longer, healthier, and more vibrant lives. Number 7, losing a sense of purpose. The seventh and final warning my doctor gave me was perhaps the most important of all. He said, "If you want to live a long, healthy life, you must never lose your sense of purpose." At first, I thought he meant work or responsibilities, but he explained something much deeper. Purpose, he said, isn't just about staying busy. It's about feeling needed, feeling that your life has meaning, and having reasons to get up every morning. He shared something that surprised me. He told me that many people who live past 100 do so not only because they take care of their bodies or minds, but because they feel needed. They have goals, routines, and ways of contributing to others, even in small ways. That feeling of usefulness keeps them motivated, keeps their spirits alive, and gives them energy to keep going. I thought about my own life. Over the years, it's easy to fall into a routine and feel like your role in the world is shrinking. Friends move away, children grow independent, and daily responsibilities change. I realized how easy it is to let days pass without meaningful purpose. The doctor warned me that losing a sense of purpose can affect health just as much as poor nutrition or inactivity. People who feel useless often decline faster, both physically and mentally. They lose motivation to care for themselves, to move, to socialize, or to stay mentally active. After hearing this, I made a conscious effort to find ways to stay engaged. I began setting small daily goals, reaching out to others, learning new things, and finding ways to contribute, even in simple ways. The lesson I learned is powerful. Purpose gives life direction. It fuels motivation and provides energy that medicine alone cannot. Staying active in mind, body, and spirit isn't just about living longer. It's about living fully. Without purpose, life can feel empty. But with it, every day becomes meaningful, giving us a reason to continue, to grow, and to thrive, even into our later years. Looking back, the conversation I had with my doctor that day changed the way I see aging and life itself. It wasn't a list of pills or medical tests that left the biggest impression. It was the simple truths about daily habits, mindset, and connections with others. I realized that living longer is not just about medicine or treatments. It's about the small choices we make every day, how much we move, how we manage stress, how we nurture our minds, how we maintain relationships, and how we hold on to a sense of purpose. These are the things that quietly build strength, resilience, and vitality over the years. Reflecting on my own life, I understood that the changes don't have to be dramatic. Even small steps, going for a short walk, calling a friend, learning something new, or setting a goal can add up and make a huge difference over time. It's never too late to start, but the earlier we begin, the more impact it has. So I encourage everyone watching this to take a moment to reflect on your own habits. Ask yourself, am I moving enough? Am I caring for my mind and heart? Am I staying connected and engaged with life? Because in the end, reaching 100 is not just about adding years to